He sat on the laundromat floor for almost 9 minutes. Not because he fell, not because he was sick, not because something terrible had happened. He was holding one sock in his hand. One sock. The washing machines were still running behind him. A dryer kept spinning. Someone across the room folded towels like it was nothing. A woman walked in, started a load, and left. Life kept moving, but he did not. His laundry basket had tipped over beside him, shirts on the floor, jeans halfway out, hair towel hanging from the edge, and he just sat there, staring at all of it, as if the smallest task in the world had become too heavy to touch. For years, he called himself lazy, too slow, too distracted, too weak. He thought he needed more discipline, more motivation, more pressure. But that morning, in the middle of a bright laundromat with dirty clothes around him, he finally understood something. He was not lazy, he was empty, not sad in a dramatic way, not broken in a way people could see, just mentally done, so done that even one sock felt like too much. It did not start at the laundromat. It started months before, maybe years, with small things. A plate left in the sink, an email opened, but never answered, a bill placed on the counter, then covered by another envelope, a message from a friend, seen, then forgotten, a drawer that needed fixing, a shirt that needed returning, a form that needed signing. Nothing big, nothing anyone would call a crisis, but every small thing stayed and waited and followed him. At first, he told himself he would handle it later. Then later became tomorrow. Tomorrow became next weekend. Next weekend became when I have energy. And after a while, his apartment did not look messy because he did not care. It looked messy because every object had become a decision. Every decision had become weight. And every weight had been sitting quietly on his mind. Long before he sat on that laundromat floor. He tried to fix it the way people told him to, with lists, new notebooks, phone reminders, sticky notes on the fridge. He wrote things down, as if writing them made him lighter. Laundry, groceries, call the dentist, pay insurance, clean the bathroom, reply to Mark, buy light bulbs, cancel subscription, return package. 10 small things, then 12, then 23. The list was supposed to help, but some mornings he would look at it and feel his chest tighten, not because the tasks were impossible, but because every line seemed to ask for a version of him he no longer had access to. So he made a new list, cleaner, shorter, more realistic, then another, and each one ended the same way. Folded on the counter, half finished, quietly proving what he already feared, that maybe something was wrong with him. The strange part was, people did not notice. At work, he still smiled. At the grocery stores, he still said, "Excuse me." When the cashier asked how his day was going, he still said, "Good." When his neighbor waved from across the driveway, he waved back. When his mother called, he made his voice sound normal. He knew how to perform fine. He had practiced it for years. Stand up straight, answer simply, laugh at the right moment. Do not explain too much. Do not make people worry. And most days, and it worked. People saw a grown man with a job, a car, clean clothes, and ordinary problems. They did not see the unopened mail in his glove compartment. They did not see the laundry still wet in the machine because he forgot to move it. They did not see him standing in a store aisle, holding one item, unable to choose another. They only saw the face he brought outside, not the mind he carried underneath. At night, his mind did not sleep. His body did sometimes, but his mind stayed awake, like a room full of lights no one turned off. One thought about money, one about his health, one about the message he forgot, one about the appointment he needed to make. One about the thing he said wrong 3 years ago. One about the future. One about nothing at all. They opened one after another. Small thoughts, unfinished thoughts, useless thoughts, important thoughts, all sitting there, waiting for attention. And the more he tried to rest, the louder they became. So he reached for distractions, a video, another video, a headline, a comment, a game, a snack, anything that could cover the noise for a few minutes. But nothing closed, nothing ended, nothing became lighter. By morning, he was not starting the day fresh. He was continuing yesterday, with less battery. That Saturday, he made a plan, a simple one. Nothing ambitious. Wake up, do laundry, buy groceries, clean the kitchen, pay 2 bills, call the dentist, maybe go for a walk. He wrote it on a piece of paper and placed it on the table. Then he stared at it. For a while, the list looked possible, almost peaceful, like a normal adult day. So he started with the easiest thing: laundry. He carried the basket to the door, put detergent in a plastic bag, checked his pockets for quarters, then stood there with his hand on the doorknob, feeling strangely tired before he had even left. He told himself, just do one thing. One thing, that was all. But sometimes, when your mind is already full, even one thing feels like asking a flooded room to hold one more drop. The laundromat was almost empty. That should have helped. Only 3 machines were running. One man was reading a newspaper near the window. A woman was folding towels at the back. A little boy was sitting on a plastic chair, swinging his feet. Everything was ordinary. The kind of place no one remembers later. He placed the basket on the metal table, took out the detergent, separated whites from darks, checked the pockets. 1 receipt, 2 coins, a wrapper. Nothing difficult, nothing confusing. But his hands moved slowly, like every small motion had to travel through fog. He opened the washer door, then closed it, opened it again, stared at the clothes, then at the machine, then at the basket. He knew what to do. That was the worst part. He knew exactly what to do, but knowing was not the same as being able. And right there, under the bright fluorescent lights, surrounded by machines doing what they were built to do, he felt like the only thing in the room that had stopped working. Then the basket tipped, not loudly, not dramatically. It just slipped from the edge of the table and fell sideways. A few shirts dropped out. A towel unfolded on the floor. 1 sock landed near his shoe. He looked down, and something in him went quiet. The machines kept running. The dryer kept turning. The little boy kept swinging his feet. But inside him, everything stopped. He wanted to bend down. He wanted to pick it up. He wanted to act normal. But his body did not move. Not at first. He just stood there, staring at the clothes on the floor, feeling embarrassed, even though nobody was watching. And in that small, frozen moment, he finally saw the truth. He was not avoiding the task. He was not being weak. He was not choosing to fail. His mind had been carrying too much for too long, and now, even laundry had become the place where the weight finally showed. A woman at the back of the laundromat looked over, not in a rude way, not like he was strange, just because the basket had fallen. For 1 second, he wanted to disappear. He imagined what she saw: a grown man, standing over a pile of clothes, unable to pick up a sock. He waited for her face to change, for judgment, for confusion, for that look people give when they do not understand what kind of tired you are. But she did not give him that look. She only walked over slowly, holding a folded towel in her hands. Then she bent down, picked up 1 shirt, and placed it back in the basket. No big speech, no question, no lesson, just one small gesture. Then she said, "Some days are heavier than they look." That was all. And somehow, that simple sentence almost broke him, because for years, he had been waiting for someone to say, without making him explain it, that maybe this was not laziness, maybe this was weight. He did not answer her right away. He just looked at the shirt in the basket, then at the sock near his shoe. It was such a small thing, almost embarrassing. A sock on the floor, a task any child could finish. But now, it did not look like proof that he was broken. It looked like a place to begin, so he bent down, slowly. His knees cracked a little. His hand reached for the sock. He picked it up. That was all. No music, no victory, no sudden strength. Just one sock, back in the basket. Then another shirt, then the towel, then the jeans. The woman went back to folding. The machines kept spinning. Nobody clapped. Nobody noticed. And maybe that was what made it honest. Because sometimes, healing does not look like becoming a new person. Sometimes it looks like picking up one small thing without calling yourself useless for needing time. When the laundry was done, he sat for a moment, watching the clothes turn behind the glass. Round and round, warm air, soft sound. Nothing urgent, nothing impressive, just laundry. But something inside him felt different. Not fixed, not healed, not suddenly motivated, just quieter. Because for the first time, he did not turn a hard moment into a verdict against himself. He had spent years calling himself lazy when he was overwhelmed, careless when he was exhausted, weak when his mind had no room left. And maybe tomorrow, so there would still be dishes, emails, bills, laundry, small things that felt bigger than they should. But now he knew something he had not known before. The problem was not that he did not care. It was that he had been carrying too much gain for too long without calling it heavy. He stood up, picked up the basket, and walked out slowly, not as a new man, just as a man who finally stopped confusing collapse with character.